Oh, what happened to our music? Oh, I guess we can't play music. Okay, let's take audio test. Audio test, audio test. Audio test. All right, it looks good. That works. Audio looks good. All right, let's test our pens. All right, I can see it pretty good. Okay. We got a couple more minutes before we get going. I'm just basically going to I'm putting a couple notes up here real quick before we get going. We'll wait till 7:15 and then we'll get rolling. I'm just going to clean up the board. I'm writing a couple things up here for when we do jump right in. I don't know hopefully you guys can see that. If anybody has any questions, right, and I'll say it again, we'll just put them down in the chat and I'll be glad to answer any questions as well. All right. I don't know why I wrote short sales up there. We know what the hell we're talking about tonight. So we can get rid of that. Right? We know we're talking about short sales. Okay. I don't think I should use that white pen. That's pretty terrible. All right, time we got. A couple more minutes and we'll get rolling. Buy your own primary. Can anybody read that? I don't know if we can read that pink. I think this marker's a little dull. Yeah, we're not going to use that. I'll rewrite it with a better marker. Then we'll get going. That should get us right to 7:15. You see that? I don't know if you can see that or not. Two more minutes and we'll get rolling. Put my, I guess I'll keep my waters over here. Can we see that? I don't even know if we can see that. Can't even read that. That's terrible. Put it back up there. Better writing, better pen, better marker. That marker's crapola. All right, what time we at? We're at 7:15. We're at 7:15. All right, let's get rolling. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Golden Triangle Academy, the school for real estate investors. Welcome my class, my regular students. How are you? Good evening. This is usually this is our Monday night class, but because the Eagles were playing, we didn't do Monday night class. And last night I had to take care of my mom, so we moved it over to Wednesday, which is tonight. So tonight. And the reason why I'm doing this class is because one of my normal students, everybody knows Tyler, right? Tyler went to a continuing ed class on short sales. And he goes, boy, I learned a lot. I'm like, Tyler, we learned all this in class and we're going to do it again for his sake. Now, I am a huge fan of short sales. And I mean a huge fan. Why? Well, because I've used short sales in the past and I've made a dear friend of mine a lot of money in short sales. I made a lot of people a lot of money in short sales. And the last two properties we did, we made over $1 million on two properties. I know it's hard to believe, but trust me, it happened. Now, I'm not saying that'll happen all the time, okay? It won't. But one of the properties we bought, I knew was worth, $1.5 million, $1.6 million, $1.7 million. We got it for $1 million. Another property we got for $600,000. It was worth, close to $800,000 or $900,000. That doesn't happen all the time. And then we got them prior to the seller's market going crazy, and this was in Florida. And I knew the area because, again, I lived in Florida. I had second homes there, right? I had other investment properties there, so I knew the area really well. And these things just took off like a rocket. Now, we've done other short sales as investment tools, and every time we've made money on short sales. And I'm telling you, as an investment tool, it is a money maker. Why? Well, I'm going to get into the why in a little bit. Now, you can also buy your own primary house as a short sale and get a very good bargain, good deal. Why? Because you're usually buying a house that a bank doesn't want to take back and a seller is desperate to get rid of. And you're buying it as a short sale, meaning the seller short the money to pay it off. I'm going to get into that. But it's not, let me just say this too, is going back to these short, well, I'll get into it. The last thing is as a career, and this is where I got a little upset last night at a company that charges a buyer 10 grand or 3%, whichever, is more. Well, I mean, if it's a minimum, you're paying 10 grand or 3% of the deal, which is outrageous. I did short sales for free to help everybody when I owned my mortgage company. So here's what I'm telling you, and this is why I wrote this down. If any of you, anybody is out there and wants to become a short sale specialist, trust me, there's no paperwork. There is no such thing as a short sale specialist. There's no licensing. There's no such thing as a short sale specialist. It's hogwash. It's baloney. It's marketing. That's it. Trust me, if there was ever a short sale specialist, I'd be it. I've done hundreds of these. Okay, know them like the back of my hand. Remember, I own the mortgage company as well. Okay, I will partner with anybody out there who wants to do this as a career or as a side job, as a hobby, as a hustle, whatever you want to call it. If anybody wants to do this, I will partner with you. I don't need to make a lot of money. I'll take a little bit. We just have to charge way less than them. Let's put them out of business, right? For somebody to charge that amount of money, it's insane. It's robbing people. Literally, you have zero into this. Everything is profit. 100% profit. Except for gas money back and forth and your time. Which time is money, I get it. But anybody who wants to do this as a career, I will be your advisor. I will show you how to do this. I will set it all up. I'll help you set up your company, whatever you need. Soup to nuts. I will help you. Okay? Because if these people are out there charging that and making money, trust me, anybody can. And if we undercut these people, we'll put them out of business. So anybody who's interested, all you got to do is text me or call me. Everybody knows my number, right? For those that are live streaming it differently and you don't know my number, all you need to do is do this. Just text the word golden to the number 21,000. That's my digital business card. You'll get a hold of me, right? My cell phone number's on there. I only got one. It's playing music right now, Pandora. You can probably hear it in the background, right? It's got my email, my text, everything. You text me, whatever. So if anybody's interested in this, you let me know and we'll get going on that. So these are the three things you could do with short sales. You can make money as an investment. No doubt about that, okay? You can buy your own primary property at a bargain price. And you can make a career at it as being a short sales specialist and charge the buyer money. Now, there's a reason why we got to charge the buyer, and I'm going to get into that. Now, I will partner with anybody. I don't need to make a lot of money, okay? I mean, I like to make a lot of money. I used to make a lot of money, but yeah, I'm poor. So anybody who wants to do it, I'm all in, okay? So let's start talking about short sales. Let me erase this. We're going to talk about short sales and how to do these things, how to make money, how to buy your house, and how to do it as a career, right? I'm going to teach you all about it first, and then you can decide if you want to go ahead and try and make money. But believe me, it's easy as hell. This stuff is not hard, everybody. It is not hard at all. So I'm going to erase it, and then we're going to jump on that side of the board, and we're going to get right into the short sales, all right? So let me get rid of this. The white is a pain in the butt, so I'm not going to use this white ink that much tonight. So I apologize. I can usually just erase it and go, but, you know, unfortunately, I was dumb enough to write in white. So my mistake, my bad. And again, if anybody has any questions, put them in the group chat down the bottom. I will answer any question that you have, all right? So I'm going to talk about what actually is a short sale first off, okay? And who does short sales, okay? So, and where you can kind of market for short sales. Okay, let's jump over to that side of the board and bring my blue pen. Okay, the first thing you got to understand is this: judicial versus non-judicial, okay? And Pennsylvania is a judicial state, meaning this: when you buy a home in the state of PA, okay, so here we are, right, is us, and we buy this house, okay? We usually go to a bank and we sign papers called a note, a mortgage, and a HUD-1, now called a closing disclosure. All right, I'm old school. We call it a closing disclosure, okay? The bank gives us the money. We go buy this house, and the seller, right, the seller will transfer the deed to us, okay? So now, in PA, we actually physically have the deed to our property, unlike a car. Where a car, we make monthly payments, and we don't get the title to the car until we pay it off. A home is different, okay? Especially in PA, whether we live in, so there's some states that are non-judicial, and then that deed goes into a trust. But because we're PA, and then living in a judicial state, we get the deed to our property. So we own it, okay? We have the deed, we have ownership, okay? Now, when we go to the bank, and if we if we cannot make our mortgage payment, right? We have options, okay? We could try and sell our property. If we don't have enough money to sell our property to pay back the bank, what can we do? Well, we could do something that's called a short sale. Okay? This is when you do not have enough money to pay back the bank. You're short. It's just like this. I want to go to McDonald's and get a hamburger. Hamburgers were $1 for the longest time, right? I don't know what they are now. I go there with $1 in my pocket. The guy says, they're $1.25. Hey, listen, man, I'm really hungry. Can you sell me that burger for $1? I'm a 25 cents short to buy that burger. Well, the manager says, you know what? Give me the $1. We will sell you that hamburger. So they accepted a short sale, right? They sold you the burger for $1. They're short 25 cents. Burger's yours, you go eat it, okay? No harm, no foul. Everybody's good. Same thing with a house where somebody either A, gets in trouble and they may be facing foreclosure, or B, the house is worth more than what it's worth and they're not late on their payment or anything like that. They just want to sell it, but they can't because they don't have enough money to pay it, okay? So now, the reason why I showed you this judicial versus non-judicial, because you have options if you're going to foreclosure, you have different options. You could do a short sale, which is what we're talking about tonight. You could do a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which means you just give the deed back to the bank where they don't foreclose. So a deed in lieu means you're giving the deed back instead of them foreclosing. Now that's basically almost the same thing as this right here, okay? You could let it go to foreclosure. All right, you could do a modification to try and, if you want to save it, try and do a modification. You could do a repayment plan. Now, forbearance is just a temporary stay, so it's not really fixing anything, okay? So you could do a short sale, deed in lieu, let it go to foreclosure, modification, repayment plan, all right? So here's what happens. If the property goes to a foreclosure, okay? So let's do this over here. Let's say this property was it owes $100,000 owed. $100,000, the fair market value. Let's just say the fair market value is $100,000. Okay, they owe 100, it's worth 100. It goes to foreclosure. It goes to foreclosure. And it gets sold at a sheriff's sale for $80,000. Well, there's a $20,000 here that's called a deficiency judgment, however you spell deficiency judgment, okay? So, and I got to show you all this stuff because it all matters here. So if your property goes to foreclosure and it's sold for less than what you owe, that difference is called a deficiency judgment, okay? And 9 times out of 10, the bank is not going to go after the people who have the sufficiency judgment because they know you don't have any money. Now, if they suspect that you have money and assets, they will keep that judgment against you and try and collect that money. Okay, but the normal average Joe, they don't have it, they're going to let it go. So that's a deficiency judgment, okay? If you did a deed in lieu of, now, by the way, if you go to foreclosure, 7 years before you can buy for Fannie and Freddie, 3 years FHA before you can go buy a house again, okay? So foreclosure, 7 years, Fannie, Freddie, 3 years FHA before you can go back, and you got to reestablish credit, okay? So now, you have a deficiency judgment, okay? If you did a deed in lieu of, now let's talk about that. A deed in lieu, okay? Different than a foreclosure. This is in lieu of a foreclosure. You're not going to have the bank go through it, spend, maybe 2-3 years in it. You hand your deed over to the bank. Now, why would you do that? Okay, because the bank will agree, and you need to get this in writing up front, but they always agree to it, to remove this. No matter what the number is, they're just going to eliminate the deed. They're going to eliminate the deficiency judgment. And here's the other thing. Some banks, it happened a lot, okay, back in 07, 08, a lot of banks agreed to give the people who lived in the house, the people who are going here, right? The people that are here, right? They gave them money to move out. Not a lot, $5,000, $10,000 to get out. Why? Because they were hoping they would keep the house in decent shape, okay, and not destroy it. So if you would leave what we call leave with dignity, okay? So you leave with dignity, the house is intact, the bank got it back, they didn't go through foreclosure, and then there's no deficiency judgment against you, but you didn't go in foreclosure, okay? You settled for less than the full amount, which that case, it's going to take 4 years instead of 7. So it's a little bit better, okay? Now, how does the foreclosure work? And then we're going to get to the short sale, okay? So we talked about a judicial state. We live in a judicial state. Okay. If you go 3 months delinquent on your payments, that's going to start the process. The mortgage, that's the bank security in the property. Okay, you have the deed. So if you go 3 months behind, that's going to accelerate the clause, right? It's called an acceleration clause, which is going to start the process. And what happens? Okay, they go to court. The bank goes to court, because we live in a judicial state. They go to court and they file a judgment against you, okay? A judgment. And the judgment is going to be for the note, that's the IOU, how much you owe, plus attorney fees, late fees, right? And any other junk fees that are involved in that, okay? So they're going to get a judgment against you. Then what they do is once they get a judgment against you, they go through the judicial process, then they sell the house. And then you're here, and then you got that deficiency judgment, okay? So that's how it starts, by them getting a judgment. Now, if before you let any of that happen, you could call the bank. Remember, you had options, and you chose this option, the short sale. You're not going to go to foreclosure and get a deficiency judgment. You're not going to do a deed in lieu of, right? You could. It's almost the same thing as the short sale, okay? It's pretty much the same thing as the short sale. So what happens? Okay, you put your house up with a realtor. You got to let everybody know that you're doing a short sale. And again, back in the day, now it's different nowadays. So let's say you owe $200,000 is what you owed. I should have did 100, right? And the house sells for, let's say it sells for 150, okay? Or the bank approves 150 is the sales price, okay? So you put the house up on the market, okay? It could be worth, let's say it's worth 200. It's the fair market value, okay? You owe 200, all right? So they're coming and they're going to accept 150. Now, how does it work? Okay. The first thing that you have to do is you have to call the bank and say, listen, now you either may or may not be delinquent. You don't have to be behind to do a short sale. You don't have to be delinquent, right? You might be just in over your head where there's no equity. Call the bank and say, listen, I would like to sell my house, but there's not going to be enough money to cover the payoff. So I'm going to need to do a short sale. Now, they're never, ever, trust me when I tell you this, they're never going to say yes over the phone. And they're never going to say, okay, well, we'll approve, okay, 180, we'll approve 150. They're never going to tell you that. They're never going to give you the number. Now, back in the day, I'm going back to 2007, 2008, when short sales were huge, okay? The banks used to accept 80% of what they called a BPO. That's a broker's profile opinion. It's just like an appraiser, okay? So let's just say it appraised for $200,000. The realtor went out, appraised it at $200,000. Okay, a lot of times the bank would say, okay, we'll take 80% of that number. Why? Well, because they have equity in it, and they can probably think they can get it sold right away. So $200,000 times 80% is $160. So you had a buyer come in and offer $150. The bank comes back and says, no, we'll do $160. Okay? They say, fine, we'll do the $160. Okay, now you just bought a $200 house for $160,000. Okay, you got $40,000 in equity there. But let me just tell you this. This takes time. This is something that doesn't happen in 30 or 60 days. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's all up to the bank. And that's why a lot of realtors, they stay away from short sales because they don't. Listen, most realtors, don't get offended. My sister's a realtor. Some of my best friends are realtors. They're check chasers. They chase checks, right? I call them check chasers. They only care about their damn commission, okay? So now, if they know that it is a possible short sale, they won't even go near it. Why? Because they got to wait 6, 8, 9 months for it to go to settlement. They don't want to wait that long. Now, the buyers might not want to wait that long either, right? Because, hey, they got to get their kids in school, whatever. But if you're buying it as an investment property, who cares how long you have to wait? It's an investment property, okay? Now, the seller will call the bank. And this is where you come in either as an investor or as a short sale specialist. Say, I can help you do this. They will get a package from whatever bank they're at, explain why they need to do a short sale, okay? The bank will either yay or nay. 9 times out of 10, they're going to approve a short sale. Why? Because the bank doesn't want to go through a foreclosure. It's long because they got to go through the court system. If you get a good attorney, you could delay it for 3 years and never pay your mortgage, okay? And it's expensive. So the bank doesn't want to do it, okay? They'd love to take a deed in lieu of, right? Hey, here's a deed. Great. Here, we'll give you 10 grand. Get the hell out if you have a big house, right? Or a short sale. Hey, go sell it. Fine. We'll take a short sale. Why? Because if they got to take it back, again, 3 years and tons of money. So the seller calls the bank, gets a package. You can help them out with the package if you're a short sale specialist, right? It's not hard. It's like a one-page application. You're going to give them, they want a hardship of why it's going to be a short sale. Now, as a buyer, let me explain the buyer. The bank wants one of two people buyers. They either want one, a cash buyer, and if it's not a cash buyer, the other one better have an approval. And I'm not talking approval from a broker, right? A mortgage broker. My wife owns a mortgage company. I used to own a mortgage company. They don't take those letters, right? They want an actual commitment letter that shows they went through the process, they're approved, ready to go to closing. They want a commitment letter from a mortgage wholesale bank. They're not going to take an approval letter from a mortgage broker. If they do, it's somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. You got away with it, right? So now the buyer comes in, either as a cash buyer or an approved buyer, has all his paperwork together, does an agreement of sale, puts the loan in, and then this is where all the shit happens, right? Because the banks don't have a short sale division, right? They send it to an underwriter and it could sit there for months. It could sit there for a day. But here's the thing. The first thing they have to do is find out who actually owns that loan. That loan was probably pulled up and sold off somewhere, okay? And that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. So first they have to do is find out who the investor is, okay? Who's the investor, right? Who owns the loan? Who owns it? So that's going to take some time to find out who owns the loan. Then they need the complete package, okay? The complete package. And what's a complete package? Okay. All the buyer's information, all of this stuff. The approval, his show me money, everything, a complete package. And I'll get into the package a little bit later. But they want everything on the buyer that he's ready to go. Now, when I did short sales, most of mine were cash buyers. Okay, we had cash, ready to buy, ready to go. So cash buyers, ready to go. We put in lower offers because we were cash buyers, okay? But you don't have to be a cash buyer. You can be someone who's going and getting a loan, right? It's going to be your primary or it's going to be an investment property, whatever. As long as you have a commitment letter, you'll be fine. That stuff, the agreement of sale, the buyer's package all goes up to the investor. But first it gets underwritten by whatever bank is doing the short sale. So whatever bank is approving the short sale, they put it all together and they send it to the investor for an approval. Again, sometimes that takes months. Sometimes it doesn't. If anybody tells you they got this down to a science, they're lying. They're absolutely lying. You don't know. The key to getting short sales done is staying on top of the bank. So now you're also, if you're going to be a short sale specialist, make sure you get an authorization to release information, okay? Or a limited power of attorney specific to the transaction, which means you're allowed to call the bank and say, hey, how's the short sale package coming? And you need to call them once a week until the loan is done. They're going to say, oh, we got everything we need. Then they go to call the following week, we need A, B, and C. Get them A, B, and C. Yeah, we got everything. It's going to the investor. Call them a week later. Oh, we still need this, this, and this. Trust me, it's frustrating. But if you can charge a buyer, now here, you can charge a buyer. If you're going to be a specialist, you can charge some money and make some money. Okay? All you're doing is making phone calls, staying on top. You're filling out the buyer's package. And trust me, the bank is going to tell you everything that they want. So you're going to know, you're going to have a checklist. So whatever bank it is, you got a checklist of the things they want. You get that. The buyer has already been kind of already pre-approved from the bank, right? She sent her short sale package up already. Now you just got to get this done. Now here's the thing. The lender, the person, the short sale bank, they are not going to pay any like junk fees or excess fees. So that's why the short sale specialist guy that we were talking about yesterday, he charges the buyer 3% or $10,000 to do this. I'm like, what? They do this for free all the time. Why is he charging the buyer? Because this seller has no money. And the bank is not going to pay it for them. They're not going to pay anything for them, right? Sometimes you're not even going to get the 6%. As a realtor, you're not going to get the full 6%. You can get 5%. It all depends. They can come back and say, no, we're not paying the bank all that, or your realtor that much money. We'll pay them, this amount. Okay? So it's another reason why the realtors don't like it. So this is how basically it works. A short sale is nothing more than the person is short the money to pay off their loan. Okay? And again, it doesn't mean that they're delinquent. If they could be, a lot of people are, so the pre-foreclosures are. So you can just look down the list at the sheriff's sales, right? Go right on the sheriff's website. Every month, they have a list of people, okay? It's public records. Of every person that goes 90 days late, it's a public record. Why? Because we live in a judicial state and the bank has to file for a judgment. It's public records. It's easy to find. So you can call them up and say, I'm a short sale specialist. Doesn't cost you any money, Mr. Seller. Let me help you put the package together for the bank to do a short sale, okay? And I'll get paid by the buyer. Now this guy, he's charging 10 grand or 3 points on every deal. For what? Filling out paperwork for the buyer and sending it up to the bank? I did this all day, every day. It's easy. Anybody can do this. There's no such thing as a specialist, okay? No such thing as a specialist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you by again some of the stuff that, let me erase this, and I'm going to show you what happens when you get in trouble and your options again, including the short sale, okay? So you can get an idea of how all this kind of flows together and, and if you're going to be a specialist, right, you want to be able to talk to the sellers and explain to them why you can get it done for them and all their different options, right? And remember this, if they do go through a foreclosure, it's going to take them, FHA is 3 years with reestablished credit. Fannie and Freddie Mac is 7 years before they can buy a house with reestablished credit. It used to be back in the day, and I'm going way back, it used to be 2 or 3 years with reestablished with Fannie and Freddie, but they changed it to 7 years, okay? Now, if you're going to do this as a business and as a short sale specialist, you need to know all of the different options for the seller. So, the seller. So you can explain it to them, okay? So If a seller is getting delinquent or behind on their loan, okay, here's the seller's options. And I'll give you all the different things that you can do with it. Number one, if they want to keep it, let's do this first. Yeah, let's do this, okay? If they want to keep it, meaning the house, obviously. So if they want to keep the house, what are their options? Okay, number one, this is the best one, modification. Now, modification is just like a refinance. Now, if you're going out as a short sale specialist, be a modification specialist as well. All it is paperwork that you fill out from the bank. It's not hard. Trust me, it is not hard. We used to do modifications all the time in '08 to help people, right? My mortgage company, when everybody was needing a modification, we got them done. Not hard. So if you're going to be a short sale specialist, modification. This is where they're going to modify the loan. The bank is going to modify it. They're going to give you, it's kind of just like a refinance. They're going to give you a new rate and a new term. Okay? And anything goes. They can put a lot of the principal in arrears, right? They can lower the payment. They can lower the rate. They can do whatever they want. Okay? So that's what a modify. They modify your loan and hopefully you get it done. Okay? So that, if you want to keep it, modification is your best bet. Okay? And remember, this is something you should also offer if you're a short sale specialist. Modification, right? You can make money on that. Now, just so you know, what were the typical payouts on this? 1 month. So whatever the PITI was for their payment, let's say they had a $3,000 payment, what was your fee? $3,000. So whatever their monthly payment is, that was the cost to do a modification for the people. All right? That's what the average was back in the day. You can charge whatever you want. All right? So modification, if they want to keep it. Number two, repayment. This is something else that you should offer to teach people, okay? Become a house specialist. I can say to the house specialist, you could do a repayment. What's a repayment? Okay, they take all the past due amount. They divide it over 60 payments and then add it to your PITI, okay? So let's say you're $10,000 past due. So what they do is this. They take $10,000, divide it by 60, that's 166. They add that on top of your current payment. So if you have a $1,000 payment, they take your $1,000 and add the past due divided by 60 and put it on there. So you're going to repay this over 5 years. That's how they do it, okay? So now you can offer that. Hey, you could do a repayment plan. And again, take the past due amount, divide it by 60, then add that to the monthly PITI. That'll be your repayment plan, okay? So these are the two things that you could do if you want to keep it. Now, if you just need some time because you're struggling, you can ask for a forbearance. I don't know how to spell it. This just puts a pause. You got to pay it back, right? This is just a pause. Pause in payments, okay? That's all that it is. But you owe that money to the bank still, right? You got to owe that back. Trust me, when this COVID stuff hit and people, when their forbearance hit it, and they realized they had to pay it back, a lot of people crapped the bed. They're like, what? Okay, so now you want to keep it. This is what you got. You got a modification or a repayment plan. That's your options if you want to keep it, okay? Trying to think if there's anything else in here that you can do. Forbearance it doesn't really keep it, just gives you a pause, okay? All right, now, if you cannot keep it, if you can't keep it, you can delay it for a long time, all right? So I'm going to put delay. Number one tactic, right, is, well, it's going to go to foreclosure. Delay by hiring an attorney. Okay? The last thing I want to put in here, right? Let me put this right here. Bankruptcy will help you keep your house as well, okay? So, okay, so a foreclosure by hiring an attorney, even if you know you're not going to keep it, you could probably get 2 years out of a foreclosure in a judicial state. Right? You could get 2+ years of not making a payment, right? Of not making a payment. Why? Because an attorney knows all the tricks of the trade to delay the foreclosure, okay? Now remember, if you do a foreclosure, okay, and I'm going to put it over here, right? The bad notes. Foreclosure. Number 1, 7 years. Fannie, Freddie, 3 years, FHA before you can buy a home. It's number 1. Number 2, you got a deficiency judgment that they can come after. Your credit is worse off. Okay? So, foreclosure is probably the worst, right? Because it looks bad on your credit. It's going to take time for you to reestablish, right? And your credit's, out of all of it, it's the worst that you can have on your credit, okay? So you can delay it, though. Now, number 2, okay? Number 2 is the deed in lieu. Deed in lieu. And again, this is better than a foreclosure, okay? By the way, this is all the stuff that you could be teaching a seller, right, within an hour. Okay, so you got an hour's worth of your time educating somebody, right? Now, I know the seller's not paying you, but I don't know, maybe you can get a fee from a seller if you're going to help do a modification, right? I don't know. Maybe you can. All right, do a free consultation and see what they, give them all their options and see what they want to do. If you want to do a modification, it's 1 month PITI. If you want to do a repayment plan, that's going to be 1 month PITI. If you're going to do a forbearance, I don't know, half a month's PITI. If you're going to do a foreclosure, okay, you know, whatever. These things, I don't know how you're going to charge for that, right? It's going to be tough. All right, deed in lieu. This is where you're just handing the keys back to the bank, okay? The keys and the deed hand over. Okay? Now, this here, it's better, right? But this is 4 years and 3 years. This is Fannie, Freddie, FHA, before you can buy a house again, okay? No deficiency judgment, right? Right here, none of that. And it's a little bit better than a foreclosure on your credit report. Okay? So, a deed in lieu of, you're just calling the bank up, say, listen, I can't make my payments anymore. I'm going to leave with dignity. Here's the keys. Here's the deed. Here's the other thing. Ask for money. Always ask them for money to move out. Move out money. Okay? In the past, they gave out move out money, especially if you leave with dignity. Okay? They will give you money to get out, especially if you could do it within a relatively short time. 30, 60, 90 days. If you could do that, they'll gladly pay you to get the hell out. Okay? Make sure you say that to your sellers, right? And again, a deed in lieu of is better than a foreclosure. Buy a house in 4 years with established credit. No deficiency judgment. You got to ask for that up front. Okay? Reminder. Up front. They will give it to you. I've never seen it denied. Never, ever, ever have I seen a deficiency judgment ever get denied. Again, deficiency judgment is this. If you go to foreclosure and you owe $100,000 and it sells for $80,000, that $20,000 is a deficiency judgment. Okay? couple things. I've never seen the banks go after people unless they had assets or knew they had assets somewhere else. Okay? Then I've seen them go after it. But the majority of the regular Joes, I've never seen them done it, and I've never seen them go after them. If you ask for no deficiency judgment with a deed in lieu, they always hand it over. And I've always seen them give money, right? It could be as low as $1,000. I've seen high as $20,000, but that was a big house, okay? Where they just did a deed in lieu of, said I could get out in 60 days. They got a check, boom, the deed gone, all done, right? So deed in lieu, that's the next one, okay? So the foreclosure, biggest delay, deed in lieu of, right? Now again, you can stay there for a while because it's going to take at least 6 months to a year for them to foreclose, right? And you can always just hand a deed in lieu of. But at some point, they're not even going to care, right? If they're through halfway, 3/4 of the way through the foreclosure, they're not going to care about a deed in lieu of, right? They're going to be like, no, we're just going to foreclose at this point. Screw you, okay? So if you're going to do a deed in lieu of, do it early, right? Do it early. The earlier you do it, the better chance you got getting move-out money. They'll always remove the deficiency judgment, okay? So then the last one, right? So you got the deed in lieu of, and the last one you got is the short sale. Now, the way that I would do this as an investor, okay? Let me explain that now. Now, by the way, as a short sale, it's the same thing as a deed in lieu of. Okay, same thing. 4 years Fannie Freddie, 3 years FHA, no deficiency judgment if you ask for it, right? Got to ask for it, okay? They may give you some money to move out, but they actually want a short sale. No, they don't give you any money. Forget that idea. Forget I said that. They give it to you on a deed in lieu, never on a short sale, okay? And it's better on your credit report. This is going to be the best on your credit report, okay? Out of all of them. Now, as an investor, let me talk to you about a short sale as an investor, okay? Let me show you how you structure a deal with as an investor. Now, remember, this is going to take some time, okay? The one house that we did in Florida, that took 9 months. But in 2 years, made $1 million off of that house. 2 years. Because it was worth $1.5 million when we got it as a short sale for $1 million, and then the seller's market hit $2.1 million. So $1.1 million, but then had to pay $100,000 for the realtor fee. $1 million in 2 years. Now, listen, timing is everything as well, so don't get it twisted. I know timing is everything, but still, would have made $500,000 regardless. All right, now short sale. As an investor, how do you handle that as an investor? Okay. You try to put the lowest offer that you can in, right? That you think will get approved. Try to keep it at around 80% of the appraised value. That's about what'll get approved, right? It's a lot hard. Let me just tell you something. When I was younger, 18, 19 years old, I had a chance to buy a foreclosure. The banks back in the day, they called them REOs, real estate owned, R-E-O, real estate owned. And that meant that the bank owned the real estate. They didn't want to own the real estate. It was a blemish. They used to sell them for 40 cents on the dollar. They got rid of them for pennies. That was a long time ago. They stopped doing that. Why? Because they knew that they were just giving this away. So it changed. What did it change to? Okay. Then it changed to 80% of the appraised value, give or take. It was a general rule of thumb. Wasn't set in stone, but each bank, we knew how much we can get, right? Chase, all the time, they did 80%. Bank of America, 75 to 80%. It was their general rule of thumb. Now, it's even a little bit harder to get that because they send appraisers out there. They try to get as much money as they can now, but there's still bargains out there. There's still, listen, sooner or later, these are going to go away. The bank's going to take them back. They're going to hire their appraiser. They're going to hire their own crews to go out and fix it. They're not going to lose the money like they used to. So take advantage of this while you can. Trust me. 5, 6 more years from now, maybe 10, short sales, I guarantee you're not going to be able to get the bargains like you can. right? So they're still there now, but I'm telling you, in time, they're not going to be there. So try and be around 80% of the appraised value. Go in as a cash buyer if you can. If you can't, make sure you have your approval ready. Now, if you are an investor out there and you need a good broker, give me a call. All right? Again, use that. I will hook you up with an unbelievable broker, get you approved in no time. And if you're approved, guaranteed you will go to the table. Period, point blank. Okay? So, have your approval ready to go. Okay? Send it up to the bank. And then, one thing you're also going to need, trust me, is what we call an authorization to release information. This way, this lets you talk to the bank. Okay? You can also get a letter. Excuse me while I grab a couple. I got to grab some Advil. You can also grab where's my bag? You can grab, listen to me. You can grab a letter from the seller saying, I authorize you to speak on my behalf, and you can send that to the bank. I have these authorization and release information. You don't, okay? You get that, right? You send that up to the bank. Now you can call the bank and stay on top of this, okay? Or if you, well, we're talking about as you, the investor, buying it as an investment property, okay? Get an authorization and release information. If you need one, I've got one for you. Stay on top of the bank. Call them once a week. Trust me, if you don't call the bank once a week, things are going to change. It's going to fall through the cracks, and you're not going to get your short sale done. I'm telling you that right now. Make sure you call the bank once a week to get updates. Can't tell you how important that is, okay? Because it will fall through the cracks. I'm telling you right now, okay? So, to get it done, try to stick around 80% of the appraised value. Make sure you're a cash buyer or already approved with a commitment in hand. Get an authorization and release information, talk to the bank. Call the bank once a week, and here's the other thing, right? If you can go in as low as you can always, with a wink and a smile, offer the seller a few dollars to buy the furniture. That's a beautiful chair right there, Mr. Seller. I love that chair. And if you're willing to do a short sale with me, at closing, I'll give you $5,000 for that chair, if you leave that chair. But that's just a beach chair that's all broken. I love it. I love that beach chair. Reminds me of my youth. I'm going to give you $5,000 cash at the time of closing, if you leave that beach chair there for me. That'll help you move out, right? It'll help you, help you move on with life, help you out, right? So offer them to buy a piece of their furniture. So this way they have a little bit of cash. Because listen, it doesn't matter to the seller. They're not getting anything. So if you had a house here and the fair market value is $200,000, you could go ahead and offer 120. Now that won't get accepted. Let's say 140. 140 and 5,000 to buy the chair off the seller, right? 140 in the chair, so you're in at 145 plus closing cost. Okay? And you're getting a $200,000 property. Now, you could turn around and rent it. You could turn around and sell it. You could do an installment sale contract. You could do all sorts of things with that now that you have it. Okay? Now, you got tons of equity in it. Okay? So, oh, excuse me. So, as an investor, you can buy these at a discount. Okay? Just remember, it takes time. It time is not your friend. Okay, the other thing, if you see, and I've seen these ads, already approved, the bank already approved the short sale for 160. No, they didn't. Here's what happened. They might have gone through the process, and maybe the first guy did get approved, but he backed out for whatever reason. Maybe it took too long. And he went and bought another house because he didn't want to wait. The bank came back and said, yeah, we'll do it. I lost my buyer. That doesn't mean they're going to do it again. It's a whole nother buyer. It's a whole nother situation. Do not let anybody tell you that a bank already has it approved, right? They might have had it approved with somebody else, okay? But it's very rare that they're going to approve it until they see the buyer, get the whole package and everything else. I've never seen it happen. Never seen it happen, okay? It might have been approved from the other buyer, and they might approve it again at that number. I'm not saying they won't, but don't go in, oh, it's already approved, I'm going to close it in 30 days. No, you're not. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. I wish it did. We would have had so many more deals done. But just remember, if you're buying it as an investment property, who cares? If you buy it in a month or you buy it in 9 months, you're still getting an excellent deal on it, okay? If you're trying to buy it as your primary and you got kids, you can forget it. That's why the realtors, they back away from these deals. These deals are money makers. I'm telling you, not as much as you used to be able to make. That's for sure. And in time, you're not going to be able to make a lot more, but they're money makers. These are money makers. I'm telling you, these are good deals to go after, and they're not hard to do. The biggest, hardest thing to do is stay on top of the bank. I'm telling you that right now. How hard is it to get a buyer approved? If you have a good broker like I do, okay, I was a mortgage broker for 30 years, okay? My wife now owns her company, okay? I can send you right to her. She'll get you approved in a day, an actual commitment letter, done. That's all the bank is looking for, okay? You want to make sure that you can go to closing. You know, they want the title, they want all the stuff. They want title, they want appraisal, they want all that stuff, okay, which we can get. It's easy. That stuff is all easy 2+2 stuff. The hardest thing is staying on top of the bank, because I'm telling you, it goes from here to there to there. They don't know what the hell they're doing. That's the problem. But once it's done, and they got to go find the investor who actually owns it, because they got to give the blessing. Yeah, we'll sell it for that, right? Just like the McDonald's, the manager, like the guy behind the counter really can't do it. You got to call the manager over. Hey, Mr. Manager, can we sell this to Vinny for $1? Sure. Why? Because they're only going to throw the burger out anyway, rather get $1 than nothing, right? They're throwing the burger in a dumpster. Now they're going to get $1. They're 25 cents short. Okay, whatever. So now they got to get the blessing from the owner who owns that. Now, they don't know who owns it right away. Why? Because the banks that you talk to, they're just servicing companies. They service the loan for the owners, right? And those owners, they were bought in a pool, a big pool of money, a big pool of other loans, okay? So once they get the approval, then yes, then you can go to closing and you can make serious good money, okay? Then you can also, right? You can also, as an investor, or I mean, as somebody who wants to do this as a business, okay? Let me see if I can find the people that Tyler sent to me last night, who they are. Let's take a look, right? And we can look at them together. All right, so let me see if I can find them. Let me see if I can find them. Okay? And we can look at it together. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So we can pull it up together. Let me get my chair, right? Give me a second. We could all look at this together. And then I can tell you what's malarkey and what's not malarkey. All right? We can look at this together, and I'll tell you what's baloney, what's not baloney. But here's the company that Tyler had that did the continuing ed that wants to charge people 3 points or $10,000 to the buyer. Listen, again, anybody that wants to start a company, I'm in. I will be your advisor. I will hold your hand walking you through this. We undercut them and make money. All right, so let me find it first, and then I'm going to give it to you guys. So hold on. So the name of the company is this. Actually, I'm going to put it up on the board. Let me put it up here. Hold on. Let me change here. Let me change these layouts real quick. Just give me a second. Make sure I'm okay, so you can see me. And then I'll change it, and then we'll look at it together. All right. All right, 1 second. I'm almost there. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Let's change this. Let's do this. Let's switch this over. All right, and then we're going to get into this. All right, hold on. I kind of messed that up. All right. All right, so here's the name of the company. Ready? See? Now, listen, these people might be very nice people, and I don't mean to badmouth anybody. I don't know them. They could be wonderful human beings. They give to charity and everything else like that. What I'm saying is that charging a buyer 3% to do paperwork is, in my opinion, is just outrageous. Again, they could be wonderful human beings, and they might justify their fee. But if anybody wants to charge less, let me know. I'm all in. I'll help. Okay, CK Capital Management. Capital, M-A-N. Oh, my damn keyboard is not working here. CK, it's CK Capital. CK Capital Management. G-E-M. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go, right? Can everybody see that? We are the short sale experts. Trust me, I'm a short sale expert. I've been doing this for 30 years. I know this back of my hand. Okay, our primary focus is for a win-win outcome from all parties on a short sale. No fee to homeowner. They can't charge a fee to the homeowner because who's paying for it? They don't have any money. They're short to sell the house. So they have to charge it to the buyer. Homeowner closing fees paid by the mortgage company. No. Let me tell you what they're doing here. Listen, they're screwing the buyer on that. What they're doing is doing a lender paid credit. A lender paid credit means you have to give the buyer a higher interest rate because now the lender is going to give them money for their closing costs. So what they're saying is, hey, put the 3% in with the loan, then have the lender paid. So now instead of getting a 5% interest rate, you're going to get 5.5% so that you could cover this guy's 3%. Come on, you're screwing the buyer. You're charging him 3%, and now he's going to pay that for 30 years, a higher interest rate for 30 years. That's not a win-win for anybody. This is what upsets me. When you're screwing people over, that's frustrating, okay, to me. Bear with me. Okay, bear with me, all right? Bear with me. Let's keep going, okay? Bear with me, okay? All right, now, homeowner closing fees paid by the mortgage company. Again, that's a lender credit. Increased approval rates. What the hell does that mean? Increased approval rates. From who? The bank makes the final decision one way or the other. Doesn't matter. You could be Jesus on the other side. The bank, all they care about is money. Maximize realtor commission. Oh my God. Right? Maximize realtor commission. We can help. Like, what does that mean? Maximize realtor commission. Right? Sometimes the banks won't pay 6%. Right? They might only pay you 3%. I don't know what the hell this means. No clue. This is what we call a lender credit. Okay? Your interest, as a buyer, your interest rates go up because now the lender is paying money to cover your closing costs. So your rates go higher. Okay? 98% approval, 50 states, 20 years experience. Okay, I got 30 years experience. Okay? So anybody wants to partner with me, I guarantee, I don't think I've had one, I think I got 99.9%. I haven't had one short sale not go through. Not one. Every one I've done has gone through. Now, so 50 states, we can do this in every state. How many total states are there? 52? How many states are there? How many states? We're going to be every state. I don't think we do Puerto Rico, right? And we got 30 years experience. So we're better than this guy already. And again, I'm not knocking this guy. They could be a wonderful human beings. They could give to charity and everything else. And I'm not knocking them individually. What I'm knocking is the actual cost of the service. Not knocking them. So let's make sure that you guys understand that. All right. Leverage the expert. Short sales, all we do. Our team has decades of combined experience, uniquely suited to handle any situation. What's the situation? It's a short sale. There's only one situation. A short sale. That's it. There is no other short situation. It is a short sale. Pay for perform. Our team manages the entire short sale process from start to finish. We do the heavy. What's the heavy lifting? It's paperwork. You sit on your damn ass, fill out paperwork, and call the goddamn bank. That's what you do. That's it. Oh my God. We are only paid for the service when the sale successfully closes. Of course, because you're charging I'm talking about right here. Right, because you're charging the buyer. Right? You're charging the buyer. Save time. Our team works directly with the mortgage company, knows how to cut through the red tape to facilitate a faster review process so realtors and homeowners don't have to. Again, it's getting the approval up front. That's what this here. You get the approval up front. Up front. What approval? The buyer's approval up front. You get the buyer's approval up front. Okay? You're good to go. Now, they may counter the offer. You might go in, let's just say we go in at this offer here, we go in at 120. They might say, no, we deny that. They might flat out deny it. They might say, no, denied. Well, you go back at 160. Okay, we'll approve it. They're gonna do a couple things. What are they gonna do? Okay, they're gonna do this. Let me show you what they're gonna do. All right? They're gonna do this. Every bank is gonna do this, okay? They're gonna give you the options of this here. They're gonna do this, okay? Let me just this is what they're gonna do. Every bank, okay? Every bank is gonna do the same thing. What do they do? They're either they're either going to do this. They're going to either do they're going to approve it as is. If they do that, you know you went in too low. If they come back, approved it that, you know you probably went in too. B, they can flat out deny it, right? So they're going to approve, deny, or C, they're going to counter. Okay? One of these three things is going to happen. They're going to approve it, they're going to deny it, they're going to counter it. Okay? Now, if they approve it, again, over here, you know you went in too light. If they deny it, you know you went in too heavy. Now, what do I mean by that? You asked way too low. Okay? It's kind of the opposite of what I'm trying to say here, right? If they denied it, you offered way too light. Okay? Let me erase that and do it the right way. Okay? Let me do this. Okay? If they deny it, you offer too light. Too less. Okay? Way too less. If they approve it, right, you offer too much. Right? Because they just approved it right off the get-go. This is kind of what you want right here. If they counter it, you know you were in the ballpark. You shot for it. You tried. They said, good try. Nah, we don't want it. We'll counter. Okay? So in that situation where you owe $200,000, right? Stupid thing, get out of here. You owe $2,000 and you went in at 120. they come back and counter it and say, nah, we'll do 140, okay? Or 140, they come back at 160, okay? They might deny 120 right off the get-go. No, that means you went in too light, right? Maybe you went in at 170. They did that right away. You're like, oh, damn, I did too much. You go in at 135, 140, they come back at 160, okay? Now you know you're in the game, okay? That's what you're trying to hope for is the counter, okay? Because then you know you didn't offer too little, you didn't offer too much, too little, right? You offered just the right amount, okay? You offered just the right amount. All right, now, say, oh my God, our team works directly with the mortgage company. Again, working with the mortgage company just gets, what you're doing is getting the approval up front, the seller. All right, let's go. Let's see what else we got. Where's my, what happened? What happened? What happened? Where's my, what happened? Everybody hold on. I don't know what happened to my screen here. All right. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it got lost here. I apologize. I must have deleted it there. My apologies. My apologies there. I don't know what I did. Okay. All right, realtors, we do all the work on your short sale listings, get paid the same amount. Let us do all the communication and paperwork to mortgage companies. Don't spend countless hours on the phone with the mortgage companies when you can focus on growing your business and deep. Okay, again, all they're doing is taking the borrower to the broker. That's it. The broker approves it and they send it to the bank. Easy. We can do all this stuff. Okay, and I'm over right now. I'm over on this side of things. Okay, just so you know where I'm at. Okay. I'm over here right now, okay? They're just keeping the realtors out because the realtors don't want to be involved anyway, all right? So now let's go over to this side. Homeowners. If you're facing foreclosure and need to sell your home, you can rest easy knowing our primary goal is to get the short sale approved and your debt forgiven, helping you avoid foreclosure altogether. What do they mean, debt forgiven? That's the deficiency judgment, ladies and gentlemen, the deficiency judgment. You just ask for it up front. Listen, don't fall for these gimmicks, okay? It's just terminology that you don't know yet because you haven't learned it from me yet. Oh, my God. Okay. Let's keep going. We can help. A short sale is a viable solution for homeowners facing foreclosure. No, it's not. You don't have to be facing foreclosure to do a short sale. You do not. You could be in over your head and you could be current on your mortgage, okay? You do not, I repeat, you do not have to be in foreclosure to do a short sale, okay? Who need to sell but have no equity in their home. We need homeowners and their realtors. We help, help them to go. It's easy. We facilitate the entire process, enabling homeowners to resolve their mortgage debt, limit negative credit. Again, all this we're limiting negative credit limitations. No, they're not. It's all done by the credit reporting agencies. The bank is going to report it as a short sale, a deed in lieu, or a foreclosure. That's what they're doing, okay? Oh, my God. And have the mortgage, again, with this crapola right here. This right here. Pay all the customary. Again, you're screwing the seller right here. Now, the buyer, instead of paying 5%, is now paying 5.5 or 6%. So that they can cover that cost. So now a buyer not only is paying this guy 3%, but he's also now paying a much higher interest rate to cover that cost. Baloney. I mean, listen, whoever wants to do this, give me a call, okay? Because we'll put these guys, listen, again, they could be wonderful people. Lovely, they look like lovely people. Nice neighbors, okay? But to charge that amount of money, I'm not a fan of. Let's go. Let's make some money. All right, now let's keep going. All right. Oops. Let's keep going. What do we got here? Well, now it's just getting in here. You know, they care about, whatever. Okay. So basically, again, anybody can make Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this, okay? All this is here, he just basically did the same thing. That's all he did, okay? So, again, you could do the same identical thing, charge half the price and make enough money. And I'm telling you, I can help you do it, all right? I mean, this is not right, all right? So, anybody who wants to do this, text the word gold to 21,000, get my digital business card, and we'll do it, okay? So now, if you want to do this as a business, you become a short sale specialist like these guys, okay? It is not hard. You have no overhead. You can make a cheap website like this, okay? Say the same damn things if you use me as your advisor, okay? Because you could do short sales in every city and every state, okay? And it's not hard. Again, this is the hardest thing right here. If you want to be a short sale specialist, get the buyer, get them approved from the broker. I give you a broker. Get an authorization to release information. Call the bank once a week, get it done. Done. Now, I'm not a big fan of charging the guy 3% or 10,000. It's 10,000 or 3%, whatever is higher. That's just a ripoff. That's unbelievably amount of money. And again, these people could be lovely. They look like a lovely couple, okay? But 3% or 10 grand to do paperwork? Come on, oh my God, it's so much money. It's not hard, ladies and gentlemen. So if you personally want to do this as an investor, go out there, talk to a realtor and say, hey, what short sales do you have? Okay? Get a hard money lender. Okay? They're out there. It's going to cost you a lot of money. Get a hard money lender, get the loan, get it bought, then turn around and flip it immediately, sell it. Okay? Pay your hard money guy off. Okay? Pay your hard money guy off, and then pocket the rest. Now, it's not going to be as much money as if you had the money, but at least you get something rather than nothing. Okay? Because trust me, in another 10 years, these short sales are going to be gone. They went from the REOs, the banks giving it away at 40 cents on the dollar, to now you're lucky you're getting it 80%. The banks are not dumb. They're going to make money on this. It's going to be gone in, I'm going to say 10 years. Short sales are not going to be around. So take advantage of it now. If you want to be an investor, just talk to a realtor. Anybody who needs a realtor, I got a realtor for you, right? He's a young kid, 21 years old, and I got another guy, Lou. I got two realtors for you. Lou, who's a UPS driver, hardworking guy, good dude, right? He can find you short sales. And Tyler, 21-year-old, hungry kid. He owns a few properties. He loves doing short sales. He'll help you find short sales too. So if you need a realtor, and Mike Benedict as well, okay? So I got three realtors that can help you. I got Lou, right? Now, Lou's my guy. I love Lou, right? He's a good dude, okay? He just became a realtor, so he'll work hard for you. Tyler, who's the hardest working out of them all. They all work hard, and they're all good. Tyler, he's hard because he's 21, so he's got youth on his side, right? He'll help you find them, and he likes doing them as well. And then Mike Benedict also. Now, I haven't seen Mike in a while, but I like Mike as well. He's another good dude, right? So that's the three realtors that I know off the top of my head. And my wife has a bunch of realtors as well that she works with, okay? So if you need a realtor to help you find short sales, give me a call. I can help you out with that, right? So you could go in. If you don't have any money, you got bad credit, fine. There's hard money lenders out there. They're all over the place. Get a hard money lender, go in with them, buy the short sale, and immediately flip it, okay? So you can do that. If you got money and you can get approved, I'll give you the mortgage broker. You get approved, right? We'll get an authorization. We'll call the bank. We'll stay on top of it, okay? Remember, time's not on your side. Some of these take a while. Listen, you can get lucky and get it done in 30, 60, 90 days. You can, right? But sometimes it might take 6, 9 months. Believe me, it happens. It's all roll of dice. That's all that it is, all right? Now, if you want to be a short sale specialist, put a little website like this together. You can claim the same thing, over 30 years experience if you're using me as your advisor. We do this in every single state. We've done thousands. Well, we didn't do thousands. We've done hundreds of these, okay? I haven't done thousands. Don't want to lie. I haven't done thousands. I've done a lot of them. Especially 07, 08. We did a lot of, we might have done 1,000. All the ones we were doing back in 07 and 08. We did a lot of them. but I don't think it totaled 1,000. Okay, so I know this stuff like the back of my hand. So again, if you're a short sale specialist, but all for this stuff too. Hey, if you want to keep it, you could try a modification. Charge them 1 month PITI. That's kind of standard what we did back in the day. If you had a $1,000 PITI, we charge you $1,000 to do a modification. Just paperwork. You could try a repayment plan if you can afford it. Okay? You could do you could delay a foreclosure. You could do a deed in lieu of. And over here, you could do the short sale. Okay? And again, as a short sale specialist, let them know you can do this stuff too. Advise them on this stuff, right? Don't just go in and do the short sale. See if they want to stay in their house and do the modification for them, okay? By the way, they can always file a bankruptcy and stay in there, okay? And there's 2 types of bankruptcy. There's 11 and 13. One's a liquidation where they liquidate everything, and I forget how it works with the house. And the other one is a repayment plan, okay? So, and I know both of them will stop the foreclosure process. It'll help you restructure, stay in your house, right? So you could do that as well. So don't forget that option as well. And that will delay a foreclosure as well, the bankruptcy, okay? So again, as an investor, best thing to do is get approved, right? Or be a cash buyer, get a letter from the seller, authorization release, and call the bank once a week, okay? If go in with a low offer, try and get it. The best thing you want to do is you don't want to get it approved right away. You don't want to get it denied right away. You want to get them the counter. Then you know you did a good job, okay? And then flip it right away. Or if you're going to be an investor and you want to buy and hold it if you got the money, okay? Or flip it. If you don't have money, you don't have credit, get a hard money lender, flip it, give him his money, and then you take money as well, okay? Or a private investor as well. You can do either or, hard money or private investor. I'd rather do a private investor than a hard money lender, right? But if you don't have no options, take what you can get, all right? Now, as a short sale specialist, do exactly what these guys did. It's not hard. This is easy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard. It's paperwork. You have no expenses. Trust me, there's no expense to this, okay? No expense at all. It's paperwork and a phone call. That's it. Trust me, it's phone calls and paperwork. And it's easy. It's not hard. It's easy. Easy, easy, easy. Done hundreds of these things, okay? And get paid. Now, if you want to use their method, right, of doing a lender credit and having it pay for it, I'm not a big fan of that because now you're real, have the buyer pay. Charge them a point, right? Give me a little bit of money, you take the rest, okay? Telling you, if they're making money, so can you, all right? So if there's no questions, we'll wrap it up with that. That's your short sale class for tonight, okay? It's not hard, ladies and gentlemen, it's not hard. But remember, because we live in a judicial state, they got to go through the process, okay? Takes time. You can make money at this. Again, friend of mine made $1.5 million in 2 years. We did 2 short sales. Now, they were big homes. They were in Florida. But got it done. And we did buy it at the right time and the seller's market went up. You're not going to deny that. But even if it didn't, instead of making it it was $1.5 million, it would have been $700,000. It would have been half of that, okay? It would have been like $750,000. That could have flipped it immediately, right away. But he held them as a buy and hold. Good thing he held them because he held them as a buy and hold, right? $7,000 a month in rent on the one and $52,000 on the other one. Made a bunch of money, cash flow every month, but he had cash. Now you remember, this guy had $10 million in the bank. So he went from 10 to 11.5. It didn't change his life. Made him money, of course, but he had the money to do it. If you don't have the money, you borrow the money or you do it a different way, okay? $1.5 million. It would have been $750,000 if the seller's market didn't take off. Now, they're big homes. You could do small homes and make $50,000 a pop, $30,000 to $50,000. Do 3 of them a year, 4 of them a year. You can make some serious coin. Now, if you want to have no risk or anything else, be a short sale specialist. Charge a point and a half. Give me some money, and I'll help you out, right? And we'll do it together. I'll show you what to do. And then after a while, you're not going to need me, right? After the friggin' 5th deal, you're like, I don't need Vinny. I'll take all the money myself. I know that. I'm not dumb. You know how many times I've gotten screwed over by people? A million times. So I know by the 5th deal, you're not going to need me anymore, right? So it is what it is. All right. So there you go. But remember, if you're going to be the specialist, also learn the modifications. It's like doing a rate and term. Again, it's nothing but paperwork. Repayment. Again, nothing but paperwork. All this is just paperwork. You have no overhead. All right, if there's any questions, let me know. If not, I appreciate you coming by. I hope you learned something about short sales. Okay, they're not very hard. Okay, they're not hard at all. They're very easy. Don't run away from them. They're money makers. Okay, they are money makers. And I know them like the back of my hand. If you need any help, give me a holler, give me a shout. Love to talk with you. So thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. My students, I'll see you guys on my regular students. I'll see you guys on Monday night. And there you go. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.